Bun găsit tuturor! Sunt Alina Dima, gazda dumneavoastră. Călătoriile sunt precum un medicament pentru minte și pentru suflet. Ne îmbogățim spiritual de fiecare dată când începem un periplu și o experiență într-un loc nou, descoperim oameni și povești interesante. Noi, la Travel Mix, suntem aici tocmai pentru a aduce în atenție locuri absolut minunate și povești inedite. Ca atare, și astăzi vreau să vă invit să porniți alături de mine într-o călătorie în magnifica Elada, adică Grecia, una dintre destinațiile preferate ale românilor. Alături de noi astăzi, ca și gazdă, este excelența sa, doamna Sofia Grammata, ambasadoarea Republicii Elene în România. Thank you so much for having us here today, and it's truly, truly delightful to have such a wonderful conversation about your beautiful country.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. It's a pleasure.
When one would think about Greece, or when someone mentions the name of Greece, the first thing that might come to mind are the beaches and the blue seas, the blue waters of the seas. But Greece is so much more than that, and it does have a lot to offer. And I think that to begin with, the most natural thing to do would be for me to kindly ask you to give us a short overview of Greece's glorious history and how much the Greek civilization impacted the whole European continent.
Greece's history starts not speaking about mythology and prehistory. The history itself starts with the Cycladic civilization, then the Minoan civilization in the island of Crete, the Mycenaean civilization with the famous Agamemnon, and with the first Olympic Games in the year 776 before Jesus Christ, if you can believe it. We have the whole archaeological site in Olympia, in Peloponnesus, and it's amazing to see what was organized there, and all the temples and all the monuments. After this period, we have the first democracy in Europe. 508, Clisthenes in Athens declared the first democratic regime. The golden age of Athens, with all the marvelous pieces of art, theater, sculpture, and also philosophy, sciences. We have the golden age of the Macedonian dynasty with Philippus and his son Alexander the Great, the expeditions of Alexander through which Greek civilization and Greek language was transferred up to India, the Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire. I have to say what is said by all famous European universities, that Greece has always been an integral part of both the Roman and the Byzantine Empire. We had some victorious stages of our history with the conquest of all Greek territories gradually. We had the great disaster of World War II with the Nazi occupation of Greece, had many victims. The Civil War, we have always this ability to be also in conflict between ourselves. We are a member of the EU as of 1981. In fact, this has given us recently, the recent years, also one more opportunity to cooperate closely with Romania, being both of us NATO and EU members. You said before that Greece, according to European sources, is the cradle of European civilization. If one looks at the Britannica, let's say, principle, the Encyclopedia Britannica, it is said that European civilization has three pillars: Greek wisdom, I don't say that, they say that. Roman law and the Christian principles. Greece, in fact, has 18 sites recognized by the UNESCO as international cultural sites, as sites of the international human heritage. If I may cite some, may I? Yes?
Well, this is exactly the next topic that I would like to discuss about. So from history and from all the personalities, the Greek personalities that have changed humankind, I would dare to say that, from Alexander's great personality and strategic military mind, from Socrates to Plato and all the other magnificent minds that Greece gave to the whole world.
Aristotle, yes.
I would dare to go to the tourism sector because everyone is interested in traveling. I actually mentioned earlier the fact that travel per se can enrich and enlighten us as human beings. And I think that a journey to Greece would definitely check all these points. So I would like to ask, how important is the tourism sector and the whole industry related to it for Greece and for its economy? And afterwards to pass towards what you believe are the most important and interesting tourist sites. I know that this might actually be a very difficult choice to make because Greece in its whole is absolutely magnificent.
Tourism has at least 20% as a share of Greece's GDP. And it is more important if one realizes how many job opportunities are offered in the tourism sector. Greece stands at the crossroads between Europe, Asia, and Africa. This influences a lot the civilization as well as the landscape itself. If one goes to the island of Crete, for example, you can find everything. You can find a landscape which is one with great mountains. One of the highest Greek mountains is on the island of Crete. And on the southern side of the island, one can have some landscapes similar to those that can be found on the northern coast of some African states. If I were a tourist, I may say that I would go first to Athens. Not only because it's the capital of my country, but because of Acropolis. Acropolis is a unique monument. And the whole coast, from Piraeus to the Sunion Cape, to the Temple of Poseidon, if one sees the sunset through the columns of the Temple of Poseidon, it's unbelievable. Thessaloniki, it's a magnificent city. With the old part of it, the old town of Thessaloniki, being the cradle of Byzantine civilization, numerous Byzantine monuments can still be found there. And also the archaeological sites of Vergina, we call it nowadays, nearby the city of Thessaloniki, Dion, and also the archaeological site of Philippon, which is nearby the beautiful city of Kavala. Romanians know very well the city of Kavala.
Yes, they do.
Because also of the beautiful island of Thassos and the island of Samothrace, which is a bit nearby Alexandroupolis, in fact, not so much nearby Kavala. If I were a tourist, I would then go, as I said, to Crete. not only due to the coasts that I referred to and the mountains and the cuisine of the Cretan island, but also due to the monuments, the archaeological sites of Knossos and Festos. Then the islands of the Aegean Sea, Cycladic islands, Santorini, unique, one of a kind. Mykonos, you don't need any kind of credentials for this island. Paros, with beautiful beaches and beautiful coasts, but also Andros, Ios, those islands which are for young tourists. Many Romanians favor, let's say, pilgrimage tourism in Greece, because they can visit the Mount of Athos, they can visit Meteora, they can visit many monasteries, including the church, the Byzantine church of Daphne, the monastery of Daphne in Attica, nearby Athens. I would go to Kos, the island of Asklepios. I would go to Ikaria, which is, again, one of a kind, a very, very particular island with a particular tradition. The beautiful holy island of Patmos, which again is one of the 18 UNESCO sites that I referred to. In fact, also referring to the UNESCO sites, I have to say that the old town of Corfu is among those sites that have been selected by the UNESCO. You know that Greece is almost 80% covered by mountains, having the longest coastline on the Mediterranean. So we are very, very proud of our mountains too. Going back a bit to northern Greece, I have to state the fact that not only coasts and archaeological sites and Byzantine monuments are very attractive in Macedonia and Thrace, but also another factor is very attractive, the cuisine there.
Because you just mentioned this, and it is a very important topic, I would dare to say that, because food has a way of bringing people together and civilizations and cultures, because it's truly extremely interesting to experience the local cuisine. Of course, people would think that Greece, being surrounded by the sea, the prevalent dishes would be constituted by fish and seafood. But I am quite sure that there are plenty of other delights that people don't know that much about. And I would like you to tell us what traditional dishes are there in Greece that people might not know about.
In fact, the traditional, let's say, image of Greece is a fish tavern on the seashore, to tell you the truth, or a tavern in general, even souvlaki taverns on the seashore. This is one of the most beloved pictures of my country. And we prepare seafood in various different dishes, including those saganaki dishes. That means seafood with cheese. We stuff calamari with cheese, which is a traditional food in my country. But yet, all different regions of Greece have their own traditional dishes. I may refer to pastitsada, for example. I may refer to sudzoukakia, which are kind of meatballs, but prepared in a very specific way with red sauce. Pastitsio and moussaka, of course. Moussaka is a well-known Greek plate. The cheese pies, the spinach pie.
The tourist season in 2020 is definitely going to be atypical. due to the new coronavirus pandemic. So I would like to ask you, which measures have been taken by Greece in order to accommodate the international tourists that would love to come visit and would love to escape after the quarantine? Because I think that psychologically everyone needs this breakthrough.
One health measure for all of us is to take care of our psychological needs now. That's why our motto, the touristic motto for Greece this summer, is Greek summer feeling happy. Of course, we have to take care of our health, though, and special measures will be taken for the health protection. Mainly social distancing. In cafes and restaurants, the activities regarding the outdoor cafes and restaurants have already resumed, but nothing is as it was before, to tell you the truth. We have a special space between seats for the customers, special hygiene measures for the staff wearing masks and having disinfectant all around the shops, the cafes, the restaurants. We are proud about the results, the very positive results regarding the dealing with the pandemic crisis. And we are determined to continue on the same way for both the protection of Greek citizens and of tourists coming from abroad. Starting from the 15th of June, Romanian citizens will not be obliged to enter into a quarantine because we trust your epidemiological profile.
Coming back to Romania now, I have a curiosity, like any Romanian. What do you like more about Romania and the Romanians?
I have visited, though, the region of Constanța and the region around Brașov. Wonderful sights. I very much like your countryside. And but what I'm really fond of is Bucharest. I very much love the old buildings of Bucharest and this special architectural style, Brancoveanu style. I'm very fond of Bucharest. I like your green spaces and also the fact that people here in Bucharest and I guess in the whole of Romania, somehow they move in the same way as we Greeks. Speaking loudly and cheerfully and laughing and smiling. You are cheerful as we are. This is one of the similarities. Another similarity is the one I've mentioned before, that we are both very flexible people. And we speak foreign languages.
One final word for our Romanian viewers that I am quite sure are thinking of planning their vacation in Greece. How would you greet them?
I would say that it's the opportunity now for all of us, not only for Romanians, to understand what life means. We have suffered a lot of those months due to the pandemic crisis. They should enjoy summer, and I think that going to Greece means that this summer would be enjoyed.
Mrs. Ambassador, thank you so much once again for having accepted our invitation and proposal.
Pleasure.
And we had a truly delightful conversation, and I'm quite sure that even our viewers will be truly mesmerized by the precious information that you gave us. And I'm quite sure they are already packing their bags.
Thank you.
Dragii mei, vă mulțumesc încă o dată că ne-ați urmărit cu atâta atenție și astăzi Și cred că este foarte important pentru fiecare dintre noi să înțelegem cât de prețioasă este viața și cât de important este să o trăim cu înțelepciune, alegând cele mai bune locuri și cei mai buni oameni alături de noi. Până la următoarea noastră întâlnire însă, nu uitați să vă transformați viața într-o poveste frumoasă.